Are you guys psyched for this news? I'm going to bring it to you. America's back. That's right. And actually, you heard this 2 months ago from Joe Biden. Zhou Zedong, American imperialist leader, says, when I'm speaking to foreign leaders, I'm telling them, America is back. We're going to be back. We're going to be back in the game. And you know as well as I do that game is him gamifying foreign policy and foreign aid to advance relationships in business or other people that he has set as assets, owned people, liabilities to him if we were ever to find out about them, but otherwise assets in terms of collecting money, being a little sponge. He puts a family member or two, a son or a brother, into a company, then he injects that foreign country with foreign aid from us. That country gives the money to the company. Guess who gets rich? Guess who lives in a giant mansion with a giant basement? So, that's the game. And they're back. They want everyone to know we're back in the game. So, they did a nice write-up on this a couple months ago. They were saying world leaders are calling, they're congratulating Joe, and they're asking what kind of seat at the poker table they can get. Are we going after raw materials in South America, like mining materials? Are we going after the oil again in the Middle East? Are we going to go where? Where are we going, Joe? What are we going to do to cause a new war? What false flag attacks are going to occur to get us to go somewhere? What can we do, Joe? What can we expect in this new game? New game includes, I guess, going to Syria. Didn't take long. What was that? 3 days? Was it 3 days into Joe Biden's presidency? The occupation, the American imperialist occupation. That's what this essentially will be. This says U.S. military convoy entering northeast Syria. A convoy of 40 trucks and armored vehicles. That doesn't seem shocking, right? I mean, Trump had said, get everyone out of Syria. Put them back at the bases that they are friendly and welcome in Iraq, because at this point we have helped rebuild Iraq for 20 years. Doesn't matter so much that we went in under Bush and killed like 1.6 million Iraqis. They've forgiven us for that, apparently. I don't know how, but they've forgiven us for that, apparently, because in Iraq we are actually welcome. We're helping them get rid of corruption. But in Syria, not so much still. Well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, they say. Other local media reports that maneuvers are not unusual. The U.S. often moves and transfers equipment between Iraq and Syria. Only often in that we've been pulling people out of Syria and into Iraq. Again, where they're welcome, where we are safely putting people. The Al-Walid Bridge, bringing people into Syria from Iraq, not where we should be. And Newsweek actually made it very clear as to why. So, unfortunately, you're not seeing the mainstream conservative news telling you what we knew 2 days ago. From Syria, they say, Syria is sending a message back to Biden. Because before our media reported that we were in Syria, they were already sending us a message as a response to our, invasion? Are we invading a country if we send 40 tanks, trucks, armored vehicles? Is that not an invasion? Hey, if Canada or any other country, ally or not, but I'll just say Canada because it's closest to our border here in my home state, if the UP of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, for those that are not aware, if we were invaded by Canada, or if any part of the country were invaded by another country with 40 armored tanks, vehicles, etc., would you not say, yes, that is an instigation, that is an escalation? No one's allowed to violate our sovereignty and our borders by just climbing on in. Well, Biden doesn't care about that, and he doesn't care about violating that for others. It says Syria had issued its first message to President Joe Biden, urging the incoming U.S. leader to withdraw those troops from the war-torn nation and to abandon the efforts to tap into the country's oil reserves. Doesn't really explain that Trump was agreeing to all of that. He was encouraging that. He's saying, we don't want your oil. We have our own oil. If we go and create a war to win oil somewhere else, and then we set up foreign companies and foreign countries with our regimes, our leaders, we install them into those countries, they'll sell us this oil, and we can get super rich selling it to our country. Trump, if you forget, said, no, we'll just be energy self-sufficient. We'll serve ourselves our own oil. That was what the Keystone Pipeline was. That's why it was shut down the other day. That's why pipeline workers are devastated and are now going to be looking for jobs, for work. So they voted for that. Sad as it is to say. And I don't mean they voted for it like the states. Let's be very clear. The votes have been proven, or at least in my opinion, doesn't look like your vote really counted that much, right? It kind of looks like you maybe didn't vote for that and they just told you did. Shut up, don't ask questions. You're not allowed to see the audits. You're not allowed to have an audit. Very odd. But anyways, this is not about that. This is telling you Syria has already told Biden the American occupation forces continue to plunder Syria's wealth of oil, gas, and agricultural crops, burning and destroying what it can't steal. Were you aware of this? Were you aware that we were doing this? Probably were. Were you aware that Trump did everything he could to draw them down and he had intelligence community officials lying to him about how many troops were where? So when he said, okay, how many troops do we have in Afghanistan? Oh, we have 15,000. Okay, well, draw them all down except for 2,000. Well, if you had 30,000 to begin with and they got lied to about the number, then really you're left with 17,000. That's an occupational force. So we're talking about Syria telling Joe Biden, the new administration must stop acts of aggression and occupation, plundering the wealth of the country, withdraw its occupying forces from it, and stop supporting separatist militias, illegal entities, and attempts to threaten our Syrian sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity, Jafari said. Yeah. Did you think it was going to be slow? Did you think it was going to be November when we got into a new war? It will not be the end of this month, and Joe Biden will have created an absolute mess in the Middle East once again. We will see these peace deals inevitably fall apart, and we will see war and chaos. Or you can do something about it. You can be as loud and flamboyant in your as possible. Loud, flamboyant, almost to the point of being overly aggressive with your information. Share this. Tell people. Grab a link. Hey, were you aware that Newsweek reported Syria has threatened Joe Biden? Oh, really? Wow, that's crazy. Are they like going to do something about him? Oh, no. They told him if they don't withdraw the 40 armed vehicles and occupying forces that are there just burning down the country and stealing oil, that they're going to have a problem. Wait, we're doing what? I mean, share that. This should red pill people. He says the attention later focused on the battling jihadi groups, with the ISIS groups. Well, okay. ISIS, created and funded by who again? A campaign launched by Obama and inherited by President Donald Trump. What did Trump do? Today, with the militants largely defeated, bingo, the U.S. maintains several hundred troops. Wait, not tens of thousands? That's weird. Couple hundred, typically estimated between 600 and 900 in northeastern Syria. It's a stretch of territory controlled by the majority Kurd Syrian Democratic Forces militia. The troops have been tasked while maintaining control over oil and gas sites where the Trump administration sought to bring U.S. energy companies. See? Not going to go set up a Syrian company to go and allow them to sell us the oil, where now we have to say, oh, we just helped you conquer this country. We helped you take over your land back, because that's how we sell it, right? We don't sell regime change as we're going in and ousting a democratically elected official, like we actually do. Like when Hillary says, we came, we saw, he's dead. No, what we really do is sell the idea that we are coming into a country where these militias that we have created, that we've funded, that we have otherwise helped grow to the point where they probably wouldn't have on their own. We set these up, whether it's ISIS or Al-Qaeda or whatever else, Al-Nusra before them. We set them up, we help them take over a country, and then they say, okay, great, now get out. Thanks, this is our country now. And we typically would say, no, we're going to help rebuild and stay here forever and make sure that this does not grow up now to bite us. And instead what happens, because we do that, because we stay behind, because we try to rebuild, we have that exact thing happen. This will be no different. We will have, like this says, Trump wanted to bring U.S. companies to those places so that we could help them rebuild in a way that would not bite us. And what's going to happen without that leadership now? Joe Biden's marching troops through the Middle East in the worst places that are already the least stable. There's open slave markets in Libya and in Syria right now. And let's go march some troops through. Why? Well, we're going to go take the oil, take the gas, take any agriculture that we can. If we can't control it, we'll burn it down so that you can't have it. We're decimating a country. We're devastating an entire nation. So they say, you must stop. Stop the acts of aggression. Stop this occupation. Plundering the wealth of the country. Withdraw your occupying forces, Joe Biden. That's what Syria is asking for. You should share this. You should tell your lefty friends. You should share this with your family. Let people know Joe Biden's already up to no good. Started making trouble in an entire nation. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would help greatly. On BitChute, on Rumble, working on Odyssey. We're still on YouTube. That's actually been a huge growth spot. And what I think is this. I'm still going to push the YouTube. And here's why. YouTube can be the best way for me to get my voice heard, for you to then hear about the other places. If I were to try to start organically without mentioning any of the other channels, the other platforms, be them Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, Gab, it probably wouldn't grow nearly as organically. So that's the point in mentioning it. I hope you will choose to subscribe on all of those platforms and do everything else that you can do to fight this bullshit and keep America afloat.